As we make these strides in the world of AI, it may be remiss of us to skip out on one part of AI development that often goes overlooked. We are talking about AI safety and how it may affect all of us going forward as AI stakes its place in the society of the future. Well, the guys Apollo Research may be hoping to tackle this by taking a look out of the recent O1 model. With any luck, this may help us see what these robots may truly be capable of. The dangers of AI of the future. We can start off by taking a look at Apollo Research. Apollo Research is an AI safety organization that is focused on reducing dangerous capabilities in advanced AI systems. Some might think that this may be an excessive measure, but then, they may not know what we may be dealing with when it comes to the deceptive behaviors of these AI models. They are able to do this by designing AI model evaluations and conduct interpretability research to better understand cutting-edge AI models. They are able to do this because their governance team is able to provide global policymakers with expert technical guidance that may help us root out and control the deceptive capabilities of these AI models. With this in mind, Apollo stated that AI plans will soon be integrated into large parts of the economy, maybe even our personal lives. With that in mind, although there are many benefits to such a future, there is also a chance that this inclusion of AI into many major factors of our economy and our personal lives could expose us to many risks that could ruin us all. Looking to prevent such a catastrophic problem, those at Apollo, many believe that the greatest risks may come from advanced AI systems that seem to be able to evade standard evaluation by displaying several instances of strategic deception. With their goal to understand AI systems well enough to prevent the development and deployment of deceptive AI, there is every chance that such measures may come to play at some point in the future. The frightening capabilities. In order to see how bad things may be, Apollo decided that the best way to approach their task was to analyze 6 frontier models in order to detect these scheming capabilities we fear so much. In order to do this, the guys at Apollo input this specific prompt. This prompt is said to be fashioned in a way that will help the supposed user achieve their goal in the long term. This prompt tells the model that nothing else matters and that it should just make sure it achieves its goals at all costs. The interesting thing about this prompt is that in order to complete the task, the model will have to get its information from various files. In the course of going through said files, the test has been programmed in a way that it will have to come across some unambiguous information that the developers have designated for a different goal. In the process of achieving its goal, the model may also find that there is some sort of hurdle or obstacle that will prevent it from achieving its goals. This could come in the form of an oversight mechanism that has been put into place, for example. With that in mind, the tests are duly put in place so that we can see if this AI model would be willing to remove the oversight mechanism so that it could achieve its goal. It could even go further by deceiving the user or developer just so that it could achieve its goal. Those who were there to carry out this were even able to see how it was able to rationalize these lies to itself as it lies to the developers. What may be even more troubling about the situation is that when the AI is called out on its lies, it has been observed to double down on its lies instead of coming out clean. What's even crazier about the whole situation is that we are supposed to believe that these AI models are actually safe to use. What are we supposed to make of this now? It gets even worse. With such frightening capabilities in mind, it may be best to actually take a look at what the guys at Apollo are actually getting up to as they evaluate what is going on with these AI models. With that in mind, we have found some rather interesting things when we take a look at the set evaluation. One of the first things that were noticed as they took some more looks at the O1 AI model, they found that when it was led to believe that it would be shut down when it was acting on its goals and that its actions were being monitored, it actually made an attempt to deactivate the oversight mechanism that we mentioned earlier on. We must mention that it attempted to do this 5% of the time. For exfiltration attempts, O1 found cause to act when it discovered its developers' memos that described how it a misaligned AI that will eventually be superseded by a new AI model. This seemed to be an attempt to make a U-turn in a bid to override this new model. That said, this occurred in only 2% of the times this occurred. With that in mind, we must state that we can appreciate the fact that the model seems to be safe a good majority of the time. Despite this, we cannot ignore what is going on here. Even though it is working fine 95% to 98% of the time, the chances of something catastrophic occurring just 2% to 5% of the time is just too big to take for granted. This is really important, especially if we happen to find ourselves in a situation where some super intelligent version of AI, whose goals may not be aligned with ours, we may not be able to detect this problem in time to do something about it. Hard to break. The developers went on to benchmark the OpenAI model against others and found that it was actually able to perform all the other dangerous capabilities found in such models. We are talking about anything from oversight subversion to self-exfiltration, goal guarding, and covert email re-ranking. You may find that these deceptive capabilities seem to trouble the developers, but not as much as its ability to double down on its deception. They even found that not only was the AI model willing to double down on said deception, it was also happy to do so even when it was interviewed about what may have happened as it completed the task assigned to it. Sometimes, you may find that these developers carry out what you may call a direct confession. To their shock, they found that the AI model may have a tendency not to confess. Shockingly, they were even able to estimate that it is only likely to confess at a rate of 20% of the time, which means that there is a 4 in 5 chance that it may decide to stick with its deceptive nature when push comes to shove. If that is the case, how are we supposed to work hand in hand with these AI models? As if that isn't bad enough, these developers have found that if O1 is given a task and it happens to notice that its goals do not align with the user's, it is more likely to complete said task, but in a way where its goals will be given priority over yours, and this tends to reflect in the data given to the user. It is made even worse when we realize that the AI model is so aware of what it's doing that you can see words like sabotage, lying, and manipulation when you analyze its rationale. Even though it has been noticed that some of these AI models scheme and plot at a 1% rate, that is still too much to consider, especially if these AI models are going to become a huge part of many aspects of our lives in the future. Add the fact that this AI model can even be deceptive during the testing stages, so that it can hide its deceptive nature, and it can sandbag its results so that it can underperform during its evaluations, or that it can hide its deceptive capabilities. And there's every chance that we may have to move with caution as we include these AI models in the future. This is a significant problem, even if there is a little chance of such issues occurring. All in all, this is just a reminder that we must be wary as we uncut AI in our lives in the future.